nourish your skin.
Okay, today was like the craziest day of trading that I've ever seen. I still, to tell you the truth, don't know what happened. All I know is right before PayPal earnings call, released their earnings, and we're about to have their conference call. My entire system crashed, and I couldn't make any trades, and I had to call somebody in India to make my trades. And I keep telling them, like, dude, I got huge positions in both DJT and PayPal. PayPal's got an earnings call at 8:30. You can't have it crash, and I got a big position in DJT, and it is up $9. I can't have, I can't have things crash and not be able to trade when one is going to have a conference call and release earnings, and the other is up $9. So you've heard me bitch about E-Trade's music. I would like to play music on my videos, but I'd get a copyright strike, so I'm just going to play my own music. Very softly in the background. You can't copyright strike me for stuff that is my own music. And I actually wrote this unlike whatever they'd play at E-Trade when you're on hold for 30 minutes. As I said, Interactive Brokers, they just have you hit one. But today was nuts. So let me assure you, first of all, that I did not lose $24,271. They claim, the thing that matters is my net liquidation. They claim that I made like $4,500. I don't know where this number comes from, and I'll explain the confusion there. But here's like here's a photo I took at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock, and I was up 8 grand, and then I was up 10 grand, I think I took a photo of that, and then I was up 14 grand, and then I needed to go buy a laptop. So I did everything I could to reduce my margin while increasing my profit, and I left, and I was, I set an alert if I was getting close to my margin, because I was really close. Let's see like where my margin is and where my account actually is. Okay, like 214, it says I'm through my margin, but I'm not. Actually, like, I don't know. The real margin is U.S. securities versus equity versus loan, I guess. But part of it is that the stocks have moved after the market, and that's what happened to me this morning. But the only thing that matters is my net liquidation value went up by like around $5,000 today. I think they owe me like another $7,000. And I'll explain to you like what happened. Like, I was up $14,000 when my old backer Cliff gave me a call, and I love talking to him. He lived in San Francisco for many years. He made a lot more money than me because he was more into it. And man, he just had the tolerance to just wait things out. And I don't recommend you do this, but he'd be short premium. Let's listen to this a little bit. Okay, let's end this. He just was short premium, and he just had the balls to wait it out, and I don't recommend doing that. I used to do it a little bit. I used to call it cheating death. Like, you're short a straddle, and the stock goes up. You're supposed to hedge it and buy stock when the stock goes up and you're short a straddle. But I would just see if it would come back down again, and usually it would. And, it would just keep going up, and I just keep waiting, and eventually come back down again, and then I'd hedge. and I would just capture all the premium. I called it cheating death. If it went down, I would just pray it would go back up. That's not a smart way to trade. When I was at O'Connor, I was being bitched at by somebody who was their head of education and didn't know as much about options as I did. And he said that any quality trader will know that you trade a long straddle differently than you do a short straddle. And that is one of the most idiotic things that I've ever heard. And Leon the Magnificent had taught me everything. I knew more about options than he did when I was a clerk. That's the dumbest thing in the world. If I'm talking above your head, I'll make a teaching video at some point about this. But when he says that real traders don't trade long straddles the same way as they do short straddles, that's like saying that you put on a 1 second time spread, you put on a 1 second call spread and a 1 second put time spread, and that you'd actually hedge it. Of course you wouldn't hedge it, because they're the exact same thing. When the stock goes up, the one that you're short is you're gonna get you short. The one that's long is gonna get you long. He's talking about bad traders who try to cheat death, and that's ignorance. You shouldn't do that. What you should do is you should hedge your deltas religiously by whatever. It's more of an art than a science. Like if you hedge your deltas every dollar and you discipline, that's fine. If you hedge them every $2, every 1%, whatever, every day, whatever you do it religiously, and you'll stay out of trouble. I knew a guy that made plenty of money, and he hedged it like every quarter that it traded, which is kind of ridiculous, but he made a lot of money. The thing is that professional traders, with their long premium, they want the stock to move back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and maybe gap. And the people that are short, they want it to just stay around the same place. So it can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and the person short the straddle can make money, and the person long the straddle can make money, because the one is hedging back and forth, and the other one is just praying. And if it closes its strike, they can actually both make money. One makes money on the premium, all collapsing. The other makes money just scalping stock, because he's long the straddle, so every time it goes up, he gets long. Every time it goes down, he gets short and he buys it back, and he's got the same position on, but he's scalped stock. That's a hard concept. I will probably make like a completely separate video discussing it. So let's get to the minus $24,000 thing. Got no idea where it comes from. As I said, my friend Cliff, he lived in Lafayette, California. He got sick of it. He's a conservative. I'm not, but I love him. He backed me. I started it with a 50-50 deal with him. I don't want to reinstall Windows now, man. My videos don't look professional enough as it is. He started me off with a 50-50 deal, which is weird because when I quit O'Connor, he had just arrived, and then by the time I was ready to come back, he was kind of a big shot on his own. He hooked up with a guy that backed him, and then he was backing other traders. So he gave me a 50-50 deal, which meant that I could trade whatever I wanted, and he would get 50% of the profit, and I would get 50% of the profit. The key is that I owned a put. If I lost like $10 million, it was all on him. So I owned a put for the 50-50 deal. And the way it worked is that I almost immediately made $1 million. And once I made $1 million, I went to a 60-40 deal where I had 60% of the upside, and he only had 40%. But at that point, I'm keeping some of my money in my account because I don't want to pay taxes on it right away. So now I do have some downside if I do lose like $1 million, because I got like $300,000 in my account because I don't want to pay taxes on it. I used to pay this guy a ton of money to do my taxes. I don't understand them at all. And he did everybody on the floor's taxes because nobody wanted to deal with that stuff. I apologize for the lighting, but I don't want to have the side of my head glow, and I don't want you to see my dresser. And I just bought Camtasia 2024. I'm not an expert with it. I'm an expert at trading options. not filming and editing screenshot videos. And they suggested that I buy a green screen or something. Anyway, I'm going to get better, and you're not going to have to see the light shining off my bald head forever. I'll figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to figure it out, but I'll figure it out. I just bought a lot. So Cliff calls me, and, you know, it's hard to get a hold of him. He's busy. He's got family. He's got a life. And, you know, maybe I get to talk to him once a month, and then, like, it's like old times, and we're talking, and, you know, I left the house. I was up 14 grand. And I just completely ignored my position because I knew that my position was fine no matter what happened. I wasn't going to lose any money unless something went completely nuts. And if something went completely nuts, I'd make a lot of money. I had no problem with my position. You know, like, this is fake money. My net lick is $220,000, which is $4,500 more than I'm supposed to have. That I had yesterday. So they say I made $4,500. I think I made like $10,000. I got $9,600 in unrealized profits. There's this big red triangle. I don't even know what it means. I don't know where this minus 24,000 means. But I'm talking to my friend Cliff and driving to buy the laptop, and I'm not even paying attention to the market because I had squared things away perfectly. Let's take a look at a profile of my positions. Let's just take a look at the Trump positions. And Trump has moved a little, DGT has moved a little bit in the aftermarket. So let's just highlight the Trump positions and we'll see what my risk profile looks like going to expiration. And I don't think I got a lot of risk there. And I have said in the past that I don't think it's a really volatile stock because it never gaps. But when I got up this morning, it was up $9. Now, I can't short this stock right now. It's unshortable because, you know, Donald Trump doesn't want you to sell it because everybody knows it's worthless. So he told all his supporters that own this worthless piece of shit not to sell it. Or not to allow their brokerage to lend it out. He's trying to get some part of a GameStop thing going, a MEMSA thing going. It's never going to happen. Alright, this is October 29th. I think we can very easily change it to expiration. And it shows nothing, because I don't know how you... Okay, there we go. So this is like kind of a... this is a look. Right now the stock is trading where? In the aftermarket it's trading 50.31. Like right around 50, I make a lot of money at expiration, and I'm good all the way up here, and then I've got some downside risk. But it doesn't matter because I told you that every morning that I'm short deltas and it's up, I'm just going to ride the trend and buy stock and deal with it. And on the way down, I kick gas. So, you know, it seems like people think that Trump is going to win the election, and there's, without a doubt he's going to win the election. So maybe all this November premium that I have isn't really worth that much, because if everybody just assumes he's 99% to win the election, there is no big jump when he wins the election. It might jump, but then it's going to get immediately sold out, because how much higher is it going to go? It's $50. The guy that had 7.5 million shares of this thing sold it, watched it go down, watched his net worth go down, and dumped it all at 14.5. And it would have been painful every single day. This guy owns $7.5 million in stock, and it's down $2 every day. He's losing $15 million every single day, and he can't trade it for 6 months. And, you know, he started out worth like, I don't know, $2 billion, and then it's going down, it's going down, it's going down, it's going, and then the second he could sell it, he sold it around $15. All $7.5 million except for 100 shares. So what happened after that was people were like, oh, the lockout period's over. Trump isn't selling his stock. And they shot it back up from $16.5 all the way up to $59 this morning. Now, the reason Donald Trump can say I'm not selling my stock is because if he sold his stock, he owns so much of the company, and the company's all based on his personality and him. He owns 50% of the company. He tried to sell it. Everybody go, He knows it's worthless. He's selling it, and it would go to $1. So he's in the thing where he's worth a ton on paper, but he can't get out unless he like forces Elon Musk to like buy this thing at $100. You know, like my friend said, I think I said in a previous video, the only way that stock is worth anything is if he says to Elon Musk, "You're worth $150 billion. Spend $20 billion on your competitor, True Social." That's not really a competitor. Or I'll stop giving you government projects because I'm president, and they're on the trail they are. Who knows what Donald Trump is going to get away with, but this stock is not worth anything unless he gets a rich person to buy it from him. And if Elon Musk bought it, it would be a financial crime unseen in history of financial crimes. Like Michael Milken never did that. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg, they're pulling him into Congress for being monopolistic, and he keeps buying his competitors, and they don't do anything to stop him. You know, hey, Snapchat is competing against us. Oh, we'll just buy them. We'll add it to the meta universe. Oh, hey, Instagram is competing with us. Well, we'll just buy them. All right, so like today was the craziest day in the world. So I woke up this morning and I said that Trump stock never gaps, and this morning it did gap. It was up $9, and I can't short the stock. But fortunately, and these numbers are wrong because I made like $15,000 in Trump stock and PayPal stock today just from hedging the things that I was short. These numbers are totally wrong. These numbers are closer to accurate, and you can see here that, you know, if it showed my Trump stock, it would just show cash. And I don't know if it got cut off the screen or if it's there. It's too late. I think I made like $12,000 today, and we'll have to just figure it out tomorrow. But I definitely did not lose 24,000 because my net liquidation went up. My net liquidity went up 4,500. I think on the opening tomorrow, like I'm gonna be up like 6 or 7 or 8 grand immediately. I got 3,000 negative theta. A day's gone by. These marks are all bullshit. They mark the stock after the close. It's trading 59.95 right now, and I don't even know where it closed. It was just a crazy day. Trump stock was halted twice, not because there was any news, but because things are just so crazy. Nobody knows where it's going, and it triggers these halts when things are just nuts. The first time I saw this, it opened down $4, and then it came right back. Usually the reason that a stock halts scares the shit out of premium sellers because it means there's news in the stock and it's going to move like $20 one way or the other. That wasn't the case here. It's just things are too nutty in Trump world. So the first thing I did this morning was I was long 700 shares of stock, and it was showing me with a huge gain in Trump stock. And so the 700 shares of stock that I had as a hedge, I was just like, this is bullshit. And I sold the $700 up $9, and then eventually it was only trading up $1, and it only closed up $1.44. So that's $700 times basically $8. That's like $5,600 I made just by getting up early in the morning and selling it immediately. And, it was all over the place, but, my position is so well constructed that I knew that I didn't have anything to lose, and I just made money on premium decay all day long, and I should for the next 2 days. I'm up on Monday and Tuesday. I'm up about $20,000. Actually like 15, but this should be like 230, I think. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. So I had some, then I also had this PayPal position, and PayPal closed at, around 80, and my PayPal position was all around the 82 strike, which I bought the 82 calls yesterday, look at yesterday, and I analyzed it, and I sold the Jan 90s against it, and it was up like $4 before earnings came out, and, I wasn't sure if I wanted to sell it or buy it. So, I was short 2,000 shares against it, so I decided to go with the the order flow, and I was short 2,000 against my position, but it was up like $3 pre-trading before earnings came out. So I decided to sell 500, and I tried to do it first in the international market, and the international market is closed, so that order just disappeared. And then I put it in on outside of regular trading hours, and I got filled instantly, and that wasn't what I wanted. Oh, maybe it's what I wanted. I don't know. But I thought that the order would just open where it opened. It's a limit order, pre-market. I thought it would just, and this was like around 6:45 a.m. I thought it would just execute on the opening. I'll show you my trades today. It's confusing, but you can see that like the first thing I did was that I sold like 700 shares of DJT at, oh, this was yesterday or the day before. I had 700 shares of DJT at 49.67, and the first thing I did today was, the Interactive Brokers is a great place, but there's just something screwed up about today. The first thing I did was right here. I sold it at 56.21, which is like $7 higher than where I bought it. So that's $5,000. Then I didn't know what to do about PayPal, and it was trading like around 86. And so I wanted to buy 500 shares, but I didn't think it would execute until the market opened at 7. But it executed instantly, and I was always told that, you can't place an order in the pre-markets until 7 a.m. when you market for early trading. But as it turns out, like, I have a pro account. It says it right here, pro account, and that gives me the ability to trade it 24/7. I did not know that, and Leon the Magnificent taught me. He's like, make a mistake once, that's fine, learn from it, don't make it again. And I won't again because I have a pro account. If I didn't have a pro account, then I wouldn't have bought it at like $85. I would have bought it where it opened, where it opened at 7 o'clock. By that time, it was like around $80. So this $500 that I bought, it actually was $5 lower. That cost me like $2,500 to $3,000 instantly. Because by the open at 7, it was trading like 81 or 80. And then right before the 8:30 conference call, Trump stock at that point was up like $5, and they're about to announce earnings, and everything crashes. I can't make a trade. I can't even get quotes. I'm on the phone talking to people in India, telling them to hurry because I'm losing money by the second. And I got that all on video, and I'm probably going to get compensated like $3-4 grand because I got video proof from doing these videos that I wasn't getting quotes. I kept trying to hit the bid. It wouldn't let me trade at all. And, what I wanted to do would have made me $3,500 to $4,000, and by the time the guy in India did it, and what I wanted to do was buy some Trump stock and sell and buy some PayPal, and you can actually see these trades were executed by the guy in India. Buying 700 more at 820 and buying 1,500 PayPal at 81.68, 826. That was done by a guy in India. I tried to do that stuff myself, like around 8:18. I immediately got on the phone. I'm not going to show it to you, but I was freaking out. Like, I wasn't getting any quotes. They wouldn't let me trade. I'm waiting for the guy in India to verify me, and I am going nuts because I'm trying to buy PayPal or I'm trying to sell Trump stock, and it's going down, and I'm trying to sell PayPal stock, or I don't know, but it's all over the place. And I wanted to buy it at like 77.5, And by the time the guy in India got in there to buy 2,000 shares for me, it was over 78 because earnings had come out and it tanked and it went down to like 77. And I just figured that's enough to be profitable in my trade. I don't think it's going much lower. And the conference call hasn't happened yet, and that's when everything crashed. So I bought stock and I was right. It came back, but I bought 2,000 shares. If it would have worked, I would have bought it at like 77. I didn't get filled until 78.12 and 78.29, like 75 seconds later. So it was just nuts. But I was up $14,000 when I got on the phone with Cliff. And then I get out of my... And so I had the TWS crash today. DGT was halted twice today and didn't really move that much. But like I said, its range was like basically 50 to 59 today. And it's just one of the more insane days. And having this trading platform crash completely right before the conference call, that can't happen to you when you got two positions. You only have two positions, and one's got a conference call and the other's up $9. It just can't happen right before the conference call. You got to be able to trade to make money and protect yourself. And I couldn't, and I'm going to have to submit a ticket, and they're probably going to give me $3,500 in like 4 months after they investigate it, because I got it all on video, and I'll get the video to them showing me actually calling the guy in India and freaking out, trying to place trades, not being able to get quotes. It's luckily all on video. So I think that it'll take like 3-4 months, but I'm going to get compensated. The other issue is I talked about the PayPal spread I put on. And, as long as it moves, like if it would have opened in the bell at 77, I would have made money. If it had opened at 86, I would have made a lot of money. By 9:30, the party was over, and it was just around 80 to 82 all day, and that's the worst possible case for me, and I bought everything back. And I lost about $1,000 on the trade, which is fine, because had I been able to trade it the way I wanted to, I would have made $2,500. Had it actually moved more, I would have made a lot more than that. So with the error, I actually made money on that trade. It was a very smart trade, and I completely took it off. And then all this stuff is me basically trying to make my money back by selling what I consider to be worthless call spreads. Like I'm long the 85 calls and short the 80 calls, and I bought stock, and the most this can be worth is $5, and I sold it. The most I can, the most it can be worth is like $5, and I sold it for like 4.5 or something, and I bought stock against it, so it's free money. And then I did things like I just bought a lot of vertical spreads, here like I'm short the 80 calls, but I'm long the 47 calls. And I kind of put on a butterfly by accident, or a condor by accident. I don't know what this is. And I had stock against it. All I know is that it all helped my margin, and I was right up against the margin, and it's going to make me money in the long run. It's too complicated to explain. It was the craziest day I've ever seen in my life in the market for me personally, other than like crash scenarios like 1987. And I clerked for Liam the Magnificent in 1987, and I'll tell that story in another video. But the point is that when I got to the computer store and clung up with Cliff, I used the mobile app, and I was up 14 grand when I left, and then I punched up my P&L on the mobile app, and suddenly I was down $5,000. I'm like, what happened? And the stock hadn't moved at all. Neither PayPal or DJT moved at all. And I'm like, where'd my money go? And then like it updates, and I'm up $22,000. And then a second later it updates, and I'm up $5,000. Then it updates again, and I'm down $12,000. Then it updates again, and I'm up $22,000. Then it updates again, and I'm even. Then I'm down $15,000. This is just flashing different numbers back and forth that mean nothing. My net liquidity was the same the entire time, and at one point it showed me up $57,000. So it was just a crazy day, and I think that Interactive Brokers computers just all blew a gasket and had a heart attack today. And that's why it says I'm down 24,189 when I really made 4,500, and I think I actually made 10 grand. I could do the numbers and figure it out, but it's just not worth my time. I'm too tired. But let's say that according to Interactive Brokers, I made $4,500 today. At one point, I was up $14,000, and absolutely nothing changed. So I'm going to say this was another plus $10,000 day. It's just too complicated for beginners. The official record is that I made 4,500. I think I made 10 grand. At one time, I was up 14. We're just going to have to see where it is tomorrow because we're wrong right now because there's no way in the hell I lost $24,189 there. I came into the day with a $215,000 account, and I got $220,000 right now. So I made like around 45. It was $215,500. And DGT was halted twice, and that's heart attack material. And I got video of it live, but I'm never going to show it because it's just too crazy. Maybe at a future date I'll do a retrospective and show like me freaking out about how, oh my God, Trump stock's been halted. 90% is just a trigger warning, and 10% it's going to move like $500. It's going to move to 100 or move to 2. So the point is I think that my November premium in Trump stock, which I have a lot, I'm long these 45 straddle, and I'm long all this November premium on the election moving, but I think by the time the election comes, this thing's going to be trading like $60 or $70. And if he wins the election, it'll actually go down about $5-6 and then keep going down. The only thing that's could happen that'll be wild, and I will make a fortune if it happens, is that Kamala Harris pulls the upset of the world history because everybody is basically pricing in Trump as like completely a lock to win this election. And if he loses this election, DGT is history. The stock is trading below $2. That would make me a fortune. But I'm torn because making a fortune once, Amarillo Slim said, you can shear a sheep many times, but you can only skin it once. So if Camilla won the election and I want her to, it'd go to $2, but that would be skinning the sheep because this incredible lifetime opportunity would be gone forever. If he wins the presidency and it's $90 and I can just write it down for the next 4 years and keep making 10 grand every day in the stock, that's not good for the country in my opinion, but it's good for me financially. So the question is, do I want to make 100 grand in a day if Camilla wins, or do I want to make $10,000 a day for the next 4 years? And that's a moral question. I asked my friend, like, if Elon Musk took you and your wife out to the best restaurant in France and told you to give you $10 million if you voted for Donald Trump, would you take it? And he said, no, I have principles. And I said, principles? I'm a principle guy too, but you never know for sure until it's offered to you in front of your wife in a fancy restaurant by Elon Musk. You can say you wouldn't take it, you wouldn't vote for Trump, all you want, but until you're actually offered $10 million by Elon Musk to vote for him, you can have all the principles you want. The proof is in the pudding. If that happens to you and you turn Elon Musk down, then you are principled. If you're just at a corner bar bragging about it, I don't believe you because I'd take the money and vote for him. And I hate the guy. Again, this is not a political channel. This is an options channel. But today was so insane. It's saying I'm down 20, 24, 23. Tomorrow morning we'll know where we're at. Right now, this number, 220. So the official number is 4,500 for the day. The official explanation is, I got no idea. But it was an interesting day. But tomorrow I got $3,000 in Theta coming off. I think my real mark should have been like 225, and that means that I should wake up tomorrow morning with $228,000 if nothing moves significantly. And even if it moves significantly, I don't have any risk anywhere as far as I can see through expiration. And I told my mom when I was up 14 grand that I could take it all off, but then I'd have to take commissions to take it all off, and I loved everything I had on in DGT. So I'm not going to take it off, just to take a profit when it's going to cost me commission in the bid ask. And I like it, and I think it's just going to expire and go away, and I'm going to make even more money. So, we'll see. The proof is in the pudding. We'll see in the next 3 days if I do make more money by holding everything to expiration and just trading it, or if I'll just get slammed one day by it opening up $20. Because all my risk is on the upside right now. I do nothing but make money on the downside. I'm convinced that it's going to go up slow enough that I'll be able to hedge my deltas and capture my premium until the nose call off, and then I'll just be long the election options, and then I might just liquidate everything and sit the election out, and then probably just buy some waste some money on some Camilla puts. But I don't think that she's going to win the election at this point, and the market doesn't think so either. So I'm sorry this was a crazy video. I'm sorry it's lit so bad, but one of the craziest days I've ever seen. And if you actually read about what happened today, you'll understand. 2 trading halts, earnings and an earnings call, and my system crashes. Read the news. They'll tell you it was just a nutty day on Wall Street today. Nothing really moved at the end of the day. At the end, everything was unchanged, but during the day it was all over the place. And that is a premium seller's nightmare and a premium buyer's dream. I just kind of sat there and watched it, and I cheated death today. But I never really had any risk. It's just a crazy day. I don't know how to explain it. Peace. I'm out of here. I'm going to bed. I bought a new laptop and talked to my friend Cliff. I got to see my profit and loss move by $30,000 back and forth for like a half hour. Even a half hour after the close, it was like you made $10,000. Oh, you lost $15,000. Oh, you're up $22,000. It's still doing it right now. And I'm not criticizing Interactive Brokers. It's just I think that the market was so crazy today, it just made their computer system short circuit, and they had a heart attack for a while, and tomorrow things will be better. And it's too crazy of a day to explain. Just be entertained by it, and hope that I made money. Okay? Please subscribe. If you don't subscribe, and you don't watch the whole... I had a guy call, he was like, oh, you said you'd show me how you made $10,000, and it's a 50-minute long video, and he's like, all I saw was a music video. I'm like, yeah, well, if you would have stayed in longer than the music video, that's where I explained how I made the $10,000, and he was too lazy to even fast forward through the thing, and he hurt my YouTube viewing time, because he got bored after 4 minutes. He wanted to know how I made the $10,000. He wanted to know instantly, and I made a 50-minute video, and I explained it in epic detail around the 10-minute mark, but he was gone after 4. So if you watch that video, you're allowed to fast forward and let the thing play, and you can see how I did it, but he never saw how I did it because he just was like, why is this guy playing a video of him playing music in 4 minutes? Because I was having fun. But the rest of it is all meat, and you can see how I took nothing but cash and made $10,000 that day. He never got that far because he's got a short attention span. And he's probably watching this eventually, and I apologize for saying that, but it's just true. Don't ask me how I did it if you don't have the patience to at least scan through the videos and get to the point where I'm actually explaining what I'm doing and how I did it. You can see my positions the entire time I make these live videos. There is no live video today because the live video I have is just too insane, and it includes it crashing, and I'm going to have to send that to Interactive Brokers. It's just too much editing work, and it's taking up too much space. I bought an external hard drive or whatever, more storage. Man, it was a weird day. I hope it's a better day tomorrow. I at least hope my marks are accurate. That's all I really care about. But today's official result is plus 4,500. I claim it's plus 10,000 for the 3rd day in a row. And who knows what we'll see tomorrow. But it'll be entertaining. Thank you.